Good morning. This is Maria Quattrone with Be the Solution podcast. And this morning I welcome Suneet Agarwal from Sacramento, California. Welcome, Suneet.
Hey, thanks, Maria. So fun. So exciting to be here. Thanks
Oh, I'm
again.
excited.
I wanted to be in a business that I did not have a ceiling. Take a pen and a piece of paper, draw a line, draw another line next to it. At 365 days, if you drew 365 lines, you started here with one line, but look how far you've come.
Suneet, how are you doing?
Good. I love that video every time I see it. It's so good. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love it. It's so good.
It's fun. Compound Effect, Darren Hardy.
Yes, one of my favorite books. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Indeed, it's one of my favorite books as well. I've read it probably, 10 times.
Which one? Same one?
I said no, yes. The Compound Effect.
Yes, it's good. It's good.
It's a good book to give people when they start out in real estate, don't you think?
That's when I read it. My first year. I mean, I remember going on YouTube from the car and just typing in Darren Hardy because he's always speaking. I mean, he's such a great speaker, right? And Darren Hardy, author of Compound Effect. I would just listen to him. Be at like the Remax show, right? Like at the big convention you guys have. He's always there. So I listened to all those when I was a baby agent.
Absolutely. Yeah, Remax loves him. So you were a baby agent, what, like 100 years ago?
No, I've been licensed for 7 years.
I know, you're killing it. That's why I said that.
Okay, yes. Like today I was looking on Facebook. Today is the anniversary, Maria, of the first real estate convention I ever went to.
Which one is that?
It was 5 years ago. It was Club Wealth. It's a coaching organization.
Sure. Michael Helton.
Right.
I lost you for a minute there. So you went to the Club Wealth Club Wealth conference.
Yes, Business Strategy Mastermind, first conference. It's where I met so many people I had been friends with from the internet. My first group of realtor friends from Facebook, kind of like we are now, but we see each other every so often. And met them all for the first time and heard my first speakers. And it was it's cool because I remember some speakers saying something that resonated with me, still resonates. Right. So we're talking about, and how do we spin this back to Be the Solution podcast as we kind of got off right on a tangent. But as I was thinking this morning and thinking about this is like agent listeners, any independent contractor, anybody, like I've been an agent for 7 years and I'm fortunate and put myself in the right situations enough that we're able to be number one in the state of California, which is a big ass state. Right. Number one in the state of California. So, but I think a lot of that comes from traveling because I hit the road hard. You hit the road hard. Right. And we surround ourselves with all these incredible people and we listen to all these incredible people and we're open-minded and we learn so anyhow.
So you were at this conference. What did you take from it that resonated with you today? Because you were about to say that.
It was an agent actually in my market who was on stage. And it was a woman, a single mother. And I have massive respect for that, right? For that journey that people have to go through for single parents and trying to work and start a new career. So that's something that resonated with me from that event that still does. Anyhow, so listeners, start going to something, go on YouTube, join Facebook groups, watch the videos. That'll be your shortcut. Any kind of shortcut with hard work. It's not an easy shortcut, it's just more time spent doing that. And you can really shorten, then it becomes a shortcut by spending the additional time with this, then the rest of it becomes shortened. So anyhow.
So yeah, it's there is no shortcut, right? The only shortcut is putting in the hard work and how long you want to take to put it in. I was reading something this morning. It said, well, I could work 40, 50 hours a week, or I could work 80, 900 hours a week. And if I work 100 hours a week, then I can get to where I'm going in 4 months versus somebody else is going to take a year,
Yep.
right? So you shorten that gap by putting in the time. There is no, there's nothing that you can replace by putting in the time.
Yep. Time is our most valuable thing, right? That's very limited. We can't go and get more of it, really.
We can't go get more of it, but there's you can't go from like, okay, so you're a baby and you're crawling, and you can't go from like crawling to running, right? To doing a marathon. So wait, when you're crawling as a baby, should we tell the kids, oh, you suck at crawling. Just give up now. Just baby, give up now. Terrible crawler.
I love that insight. That's totally true. Cool.
Right. So we all started, and I said this to any agent that, we work with or that I meet with, and whether we end up working together or not, but we all started at zero. All of us. Every single most successful person, people selling billions of dollars a year in real estate. Everybody started at zero. And I think that's something that really resonates with being successful, that it's not a destination and that it's a journey. Right?
Yeah, because once you get going, right, like when's enough? I don't know what my limit is.
No, because it's a game now, because you're not doing it. Are you doing it for the money? Probably not.
Nope.
Nope.
It's become a game. Yep.
Because it's a journey of it. So I was at, Suneet, you'll appreciate this. I was at my city club. And
City club. That sounds cool. Yeah. And you live in Pittsburgh, right?
Philly.
You live. Is there a difference between Philadelphia? I think I know that, but you live in Philly. And
there's a big difference.
Okay, sorry. Do you know what I did? Is I sent something to Philly that was meant to go to Pittsburgh once in my life, and it was a big miss up. I'll tell you about it next time I see you in person. I don't want to admit it, but you have a city club in Philadelphia?
Yeah, it's called the Union League.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell me that. Send me what it's called, because I just want to look at it.
So I'll be there. Listen, I'll be there later, and I'll shoot a quick video and I'll send it to you.
Awesome. Like, you go for lunch and all that?
Yeah, I have a lunch in there. I have a lunch there today, and then we're doing our team advance there this afternoon, and then dinner.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We don't have. I mean, maybe we do, but I don't know about them here. I need to do something like that.
Yeah. So it's good stuff. Now I completely.
Sorry. I want to know more about the city club. Like, Philly, a big city. Is Philly bigger than San Francisco?
There's about in our metro markets, probably about 5 million people.
Okay.
So it's, you have the city and then you have the surrounding suburban areas. So I would say it's bigger than San Francisco. It's a bigger metro market from a standpoint of radio and TV.
Oh, fascinating. Is the city, is it like the city? Like the city?
Yeah, we have like attached houses here.
Oh, fascinating. They have those in San Francisco too.
Yes, I've been there.
Man, that's so fascinating. So anyhow, you're going to the city club for something.
Yeah, we'll have to come back to it because I lost my train of thought. But anyways, so 7 years in the business, you're number one now in the state of California. You've achieved so much in 7 years. What do you attribute it to? Top three things.
I think we're going to go back to what we were talking about, honestly, like, and this really old school, like Napoleon Hill type stuff. Like, and it's kind of funny that it really is Napoleon Hill type stuff. I remember when my father, who's been passed away for over a decade, when he gave me that book, Think and Grow Rich. And I was like, what is this shit? I'm like freaking 12 years old. I'm not reading this. Right. So it's just insightful. So I remember when he gave me like Awakening the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, or some Zig Ziglar CD set when I was like 13, 14. So anyhow, that education piece has to mean something, I think. Right. Always a student, being open-minded. That's one part of it, which I think includes all kinds of conferences and events. Whether you go for fun or to learn something, maybe it's a little bit of both sometimes.
Hopefully,
right?
it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, always. And so, being a student, whether that's reading or podcasts or that's whatever it is that you get out of it is good. That includes coaching. So, and then just your surroundings. We're really privileged to be in a room that I think advances our career every time.
Agreed.
Right? Like I can distinctly remember like knowing who Gary Ashton is. Right. So, someone who I think has achieved a great amount of success in the real estate space. Right. It's like I can distinctly remember knowing who he is and then meeting him at an Inman conference and just kind of knowing him, seeing him at an event here, and then actually sitting down in the same room at the same table with him at my first Cheplack event, which you were at too. Right. And then at the second Cheplack event, and now we're talking, and now I talk to people on his team all the time, and I'm in these other rooms thanks to that room. So, I mean, that has elevated my success by being in those rooms always. And maybe for the listeners and viewers, that's a shortcut because being licensed in 7 years and being licensed for 7 years and striving to be in better rooms, starting with 5 years ago to the day, right? How do I get in more rooms? Hey, that's the anniversary. Today. It's very insightful, right?
What a great day. Because what if you didn't go to that?
Right? It was like the night of the election when Trump first went in office, right? My little baby, was she even born? Well, she's 5, so she must have been born. Not my little baby, my older daughter. So she was 6 months old. Yeah, 6, 7 months old. Her birthday's March. So being a student, which includes being open-minded and listening, reading, podcasts, that's all part of one thing, I think. Just else that Napoleon Hill talks about is kind of just the power of the mastermind. And I don't know how often I think mastermind is like in the middle of both those things, being an open-minded student and traveling and being right. So those 3 things, those 3 simple things from Napoleon Hill, who has a bunch more stuff. Right? Who has a bunch more stuff, but those 3 basic things is really valid. So
that book is a book that could be read 20 times or more.
Oh, like you can listen to it nonstop. What's that dude? Earl Nightingale? Like go on YouTube and just listen to Earl Nightingale read that book. It's sometimes very soothing. So you might fall asleep. Screw it. Fall asleep listening to it. Let it program your subconscious, right? Like listen to that book. Listen to Earl Nightingale read that book. All that content is free on YouTube, right? It was like the most popular selling self-help album in like the 50s or 60s. Earl Nightingale reading Think and Grow Rich. They were selling the hell out of that album.
If you can get through listening to him.
Well, it'll take a while.
It is a little tough, but it's right at your fingertips.
Yes, for free.
Google it put it in YouTube and it comes right up.
I remember when my dad handed me that book, and I was like, what? Napoleon Hill? What kind of name is that? Is it Napoleon from like France? I'm 10 or 12, right? Like, what is this? Yeah. So that's good. Good.
So I was listening to a podcast this morning, not a podcast, I was listening to a YouTube video, and this guy talks about, being in the rooms, and then he has everybody raise their hand. If you made this much, 100,000, 500,000, a million, and all. So he says, okay, so the ones that said a million and up, you're in the 1%, 500,000, you're still in the 1%, and then 250, 10%, and then everybody else in the 80%. Then he said, okay, watch this. So the 6 of you that said a million and up, you now are going into another room. And now in that room, you will say, okay, well, there's other people in there. And now there's 20 million, 10 million, 1 million. So now you're in the bottom 80%. So do you have the guts to get up and get out of the room you're in and go into another room and be okay that you're in the bottom 10%? That's when things start to change.
So was that Jordan Peterson?
No, this was this guy. I never even heard of him before. Patrick Bet David.
So yeah, Patrick Bet David. Yeah, he's a insurance guy. So
Yeah, it was interesting. I got something out of it. I got a couple things out of it.
Well, that's so fascinating. It's so fascinating because the Pareto principle, right, is what you're talking about. The
Alfredo
80-20
Pareto.
rule. Yes. You would say that better than me. Yes. And I was listening to something about the Pareto principle this morning too, from Jordan Peterson, right? Who is I don't know if the viewers or watchers have ever listened to him. Looks like you're. What are you getting his book?
No, but this one.
80-20, yeah. Perry Marshall. That's it.
This dude is the bomb.
Good. Yes. So the 80-20 rule, like applicable in almost everything with this, right? And I was listening to all these studies about money, and Jordan Peterson, I think, is a fascinating person. He's a psychologist out of Canada.
Fascinating.
So his take on Pareto principle, I was doing heavy leg day at the gym listening to that, and it's kind of interesting choice, but I'm moving a little slower instead of listening to some heavy metal. Maybe I should have switched it up, but that was the operators, like we talk about that, like you want to grow your real estate business. Well, you'll understand that 80-20 rule is like just a part of life. Like, sure, you could impact it, but the Pareto principle always comes into play.
In every single aspect.
Every single aspect of everything. Right? Money, health, finances, recruiting. It's like a law of nature to this point, is what he was saying. So that's fascinating. And it's almost true. Like, yeah.
I listen to these things, different things saying the same thing in a different way over and over again. Because one day you get something that you never got before. That's why we could continue to go to events and conferences, and you pick up something and the light bulb goes off and you're like, oh, I finally get it. Right, Suneet?
Yeah. Like for me, it was that whatever I can do, you can do. And I said, what? Damn straight.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of acceptance of self that comes with that.
Really?
Yeah, acceptance of self, of understanding that you can do whatever you want to as long as you make the declaration that you want to do it.
Sure.
It's a big part of it because, nobody's like, they're not smarter or better. They just made a decision and they had a vision and they stuck with what they decided to do and were consistent and persistent.
Yes. So they made up their mind, right? Somebody else that was big with Remax is Buffini, right? I'm sure you've seen him speak a bunch of times, or no?
I actually never have, but I know his principles. And
yeah, so he had this talk on stage. I've never seen him. episode.
I just lost you again. I don't know.
What is happening? I have full bars. Anyhow, he has this one episode about the power of a mind made up, and I think it's an Earl Nightingale thing. So yeah, you make up your mind to do something, and when your mind's made up, like there's no stopping you, right? Like that's the ultimate commitment. Like my mind is made up. I'm doing this.
We're doing this. So it's the same thing for in any business, in any whether you're in sales or you're a business owner. You have to decide what it is that you want and what it is that you're willing to do to get it, and what it is you're willing not to do. I find is even more powerful than what it is you're willing to do.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. What you're not going to do.
Right? Like how many meetings might we take that we probably don't even need to do?
Yeah, like learning how to say no. Do you know
Yeah,
how to
and
say
then
no?
learning how to say no, and then don't quit giving up what you need to quit.
Yes. Yeah, that's hard. And I think especially for agents, right, to bring it back around is the agents learning how to say no and creating boundaries in your life and your schedule and all this, right? Like, is the most successful agent the one that is always available?
No. So it's funny because, you and I and a bunch of us are in like all these different Facebook groups, right? But some of them are really silly and they say the stupidest things.
Yes.
Okay. And we know what they are. I'm not going to say the names, but anyway.
It's the bigger ones. Just by the Pareto
ones.
principle. The more people in there, the more stupid shit is going to be said.
But on this particular, in this particular group last weekend, young guy said, "Oh, can you hear me?" Oh.
I can hear you.
Okay. So this young guy says, "Listen, everybody, I'm in college and I only can work 25 hours a week. And I can't work with buyers under 200,000 because I did the math that it doesn't work." And he's like, "I prospect 3 hours a day and I'm looking for the most highly qualified people." And so, yes. And so people gave him, they were so mean. They're like, "You should work with those people." I was like, I think that's fantastic. So it gave me an idea, right? So, okay. So how do you get leverage? Move from buyers to the listings.
Yeah.
We said, hire a buyer's agent, get one of your friends in college to get the real estate degree, right?
Yeah.
And then you have yourself your little team. But it's understanding that you can make it whatever it is that you want. Like you have to decide, and then you have to say. So he said no. He's allowed to. He's allowed to say no.
He's allowed to say no. I mean, he has a good strategy. Like you prospect for 3 hours a day, would call those expires and FSBOs, which I'm not strong at. I know lots of people that are, right? But I'm not strong at. But I have systems around it. Anyhow, make that your plan. Circle prospect for 3 hours. You're in college. Like hopefully your bills are low unless you're trying to do big things. I think that's a great strategy. He's laser focused.
Laser focused, and he was going to
just do it.
Make it happen, and he was going to do about $5 million in sales this year.
Good.
So
what is he? 23? You said 22?
Yeah, like 21 something.
How much money do you make off 5 million? 60 grand?
70, whatever.
70? Okay, so I should know that as a
about 70. But listen, so think about that. So I said to people, I said, okay, so if you're in college, better than working at Chick-fil-A or Wegmans or wherever else people work when they're in college now.
Yeah.
Right?
At the cafeteria.
Yeah, there's so that's the thing. Are you open? Are you open-minded?
Good for that.
What do you see getting the agent's way?
What do I see getting in their own way is just themselves and like limiting beliefs. And I think that, I'm there. I have limiting beliefs all the time too, right? So I think it's just people like, um, no matter how good your mindset is, right? Whatever, like people always tell me I have a good mindset. Maybe I do, but I have limiting beliefs in everything as well, right? Like everyone doubts
We all
themselves.
do.
So,
Well, we all do in some
yeah,
capacity, right?
yeah.
So, what are some things that you think for you, Suneet, that you are limiting beliefs that you have?
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know if I would ever say it on the air. I don't know if I would ever announce it, but it's just like I just want to do so much.
Okay, so maybe it's a little bit of managing ambition.
Ooh, deep. That's deep. Yeah. Wow. That's deep. I've never heard that. Managing ambition.
Yeah, I had to learn how to do that because I was blowing shit up.
How do you manage ambition, Maria?
Hmm.
Is there a
Yep.
way to? I don't know.
Yes,
Does
there
it
is.
involve like a
There is.
medication?
Well, maybe, but I don't know about it. I don't have that, but yeah, it's you want to run fast.
I think I can still hear you. Okay.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
what's
So if you
happening.
want to
I hope it's
run,
not me. If it is, I'm sorry.
I, if you want to run fast, you can go by yourself. But if you want to go far, you have to go with others. And so, if you want to run fast and get there quick, go ahead. But it's
Yeah.
not sustainable
Says who?
because you're not good at all things. That's why
No, of course not.
you're
Right.
not you're not you're not good at all things.
Um,
But
but that's why
manage.
we have a team.
That's why you have a team. So, what is your secret sauce? What do you bring to the team?
What do I bring to my team? I
Yes.
don't know. So for some reason, and I've been trying to figure it out, people allow me to lead them or value something that I say or the way I think. Right? Some people say it's because I'm smart or because of mindset. I don't know. And to my team, like I've consistently brought opportunities, and I think, which I mean, let's face it, I have the best leads on the planet. I have the best systems, right? So that's how Asians come to us and are able to thrive. There's lots of organizations out there who may have better leaders, but don't have the systems or leads that I have, and will never have those, right? So, do I have an advantage, or do they have a better relationship, or did somebody else follow me for some freaking reason? I don't know. But um, is it leads? Is it mindset? Is it education? Is it everyone wants leadership? I don't know, but it's somewhere.
Probably a combination of all those. What's your tech stack look like these days?
Everything. Everything.
You have Follow Up Boss.
Boss. Follow a boss. Primarily, I love call action. I love Ylopo. We use MailChimp. I have Agent Legend. I have KV Core, which is another program. I have Sierra, which is another program. I have Lion Desk, which is another program. I have Chime, which is another program, right?
Do these all talk to each other?
When we want them to, yeah. Not that
This
we
is
turn them all on, but also for me, it's useful to have everything. Do you know what I
wow.
mean? Because coaching and just being knowledgeable in this stuff, I want to be able to, we have some other businesses with tech that we're trying to do stuff with. You know, a big part of our business is Slack. Like I really like Slack, and we use for my monstrous team. I have 113 users on Slack, the free version.
Mm.
A lot of people want to pay for the paid version of Slack. I got too many people. It'd be a couple grand. I use the free version, deal with it, right? But we have Monday.com, right? Which for me serves as almost a super high level dashboard into lots of parts of the business, right? So, and we worked on it for some other uses, and eventually, I had a consultant build it out first for the Zillow Offers program, and then I have a technical. I can create a friggin' spreadsheet. Let's put it like that. I just apply different dashboards that were important to me to Monday and taped it together and used some paper clips, and it makes sense to me, right? And so I think having, as you grow and have different departments, right, having a macro level dashboard, I can go and see what's going on with the recruiting, with the ISAs, with the leads, with escrows, with coming soon listings, with active listings, with marketing. Like, it's one dashboard, and I can just click buttons and see everything.
So you built that all on Monday?
On Monday, yeah.
So you did everything active, coming soon, pending.
I mean, right, I
ISAs,
have
recruiting.
like 700, 800 listings in the process right now. So we needed a way to track those from beginning to end, with different teams, internal teams working different sides of it. And then with the recruiting, like, okay, we sent out 30 contracts last week. What's a really quick way for me to see who's actually even friggin' looked at the contracts? Right? Or with onboarding, we recruited 2 agents last week. Did they freaking pay their onboarding bill? Did they send in their MLS stuff? Right? Training, right? And we talk about this a lot. Have they completed the training book? Have they completed this course that we outsourced to La Macchia called Crushing the Real Estate? Right?
Do you outsource? So you outsource the training side?
We have the agents go to Crushing the Real Estate, but I want to have a dashboard to see, has the agent completed Crushing the Real Estate? Has the agent completed our internal training? Has the agent done X, Y, and Z? Right? So
that's in each individual all through Monday.
yeah.
How was your dashboard created?
Me late at night looking at shit, pressing buttons. Right? Like,
Okay. A lot of people don't have that skill set, Suneet.
I mean, can you make a checklist on what's important when you onboard an agent?
Yes.
I'm sure that. So this is just another checklist that is put on a spreadsheet with little colors, and it's colorful. So every process has a checklist. Figure out the checklist. And I'm not like some checklist assassin like maybe Nick McLean, because he's the friggin' pilot and he is the checklist master. But I can make a simple one and put it on a website and press some friggin' buttons. Anyone can do that.
Fair enough. I think your mind has to be able to do it, though. It sounds like everybody can do it, but not everybody can do it.
Okay, well, I'll take the compliment.
So, great job.
Thanks. Yeah.
So you have a lot going on. You have 113 users on Slack. So I would guess that's how many people are in your company.
Yeah. So there are 67 agents on the sales team. There is 55 agents in the traditional brokerage or on other teams within my brokerage. We have 5 US-based ISAs. We have 1 Mexico-based ISA. We have 7 or 8 ISAs in the Philippines. We have another additional about 14 virtual assistants in the Philippines. So we have a massive staff there, and I love it. And I'm leveraged. Like, I don't want to, like, someone will always do anything that I needed to get done. I have a terrific sales manager, Dale Kogan. He does a great job. I have a listing manager who's also like a training manager. Her name is Anna Stender. Great job. I have a manager whose name is Nick Sievers. We have, salaried listing agents. We have, so much staff. But I mean, that's the way to grow. And maybe it's very expensive. 4 or 5 or 3, 5 internal TCs who work full time, 4 or 5. So is our payroll big? You do the math. It is, but I think, right, and our mutual coach Cheplak will say, I learned this from him and from the group, is just like, we have to invest in the people, because the people is what drives everything. And I think that something that I've learned from before is that the people on your staff and your executive level staff and your administrative staff, like, that's what really drives the culture. We were very lucky that, the timing was interesting, because the majority of the people whose names I just said, we hired during the pandemic. I hired them through a meeting just like this, where I didn't meet them for months, as they're working for us, and we were able to do that, right? Because right before the pandemic, I had a major shakeup, which I welcomed, and reorged a little bit, which once again I welcomed, and it was no big deal, and yeah.
Wow.
So it's a big organization. I love it. How many agents do I want? Every single one that is in my MLS, right? Every single one. Managing.
What did you say?
Yeah, we got to have the people, and I want the agents to have a high level of support. And I am a full-time business coach, right?
Yes, I was getting to that. So you just started that, what, a month or 2 ago?
Yeah, like 2 months ago.
And how many people are you coaching?
A lot. A lot. It's really awesome. It's really great to get to work with teams all over, the United States, Canada, right? I'm so fortunate to work with so many great, amazing organizations. John has a great group, and many of them saw value in hiring me as well, or instead. Then we got plenty of new people who came on board, which is just fortunate. And I mean, obviously, we've been on this call for 41 minutes, and I've been talking a lot, so it's like, it's not a problem, and it's great to share ideas, right? I mean, that's part of the mastermind. And
It's all part of it. That's great. Congratulations.
yes, I'm really fortunate.
So when you work and coach with others, you also learn a lot yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, you learn more about human nature, right? I mean, and leadership, right? Because people that you coach, you're giving them some sort of direction, and it's just really fascinating. It's all makes you. It's more insightful and introspective, and the things that you learn about human nature and people, all that stuff is incredibly valuable, right? Just like, dealing with your team, dealing with your staff, you learn so much. To get out there and talk to people.
The more people
Put on a
you
mask
saw.
if you got
The more people that you talk to. I love your energy and spirit. You have so much creativity, so much to give,
Oh, that's so nice.
and and you're fun to be around.
Yeah,
Bro.
bro.
You love saying that. I'm like, I can't believe he called me bro. You're like,
It's just like, right? Like, I think when I was younger, I had a speech impediment where I stuttered. Sometimes I still do. People might hear that. Um, some people say it's because I think too fast and I can't get it out quick enough. But I tend to think that maybe this is a limiting belief that I do have a noticeable stutter. So, what are some words that will help with that? Well, the number one word is the F word.
oh, you like that
Right?
word.
I like it because it's a safety net when I think I might stutter or stammer.
Mm.
Right. And the next is like, bro, dude, like these little things, maybe that's a security blanket. Saying the F word is a security blanket for me.
Yeah, I used to say it more. I say it much less these days.
Yeah, that's why on stage, like, I was nervous. Like, I was not confident that time. Last week, I was on stage at the Inman.
Oh yeah, how was it?
Oh, it was cool. I may have had a beer right before to calm my nerves, which I would not do for John's stage out of respect to him. All the respect to the Inman, but at least the Inman, I knew that I wasn't the only person who had probably done that, right? Because there was a lot of speakers. So I had one beer, or I had a Bloody Mary, and it kept me cool, and I was much less nervous.
That's good. That's a good group of people.
Yeah, they're all good groups,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So fortunate every time, and like I say, like go to these rooms and travel and meet people and be friendly and open-minded, and you know for
That's all important. You there?
I can hear you every time. I hope
Oh,
if it's my internet, I'm sorry, but hey, I think
so so I will say, for what is in store for 2022 for Big Sac Realty and
so
Suneet
um
and partner.
yeah, so like personally, we'll be moving out of my old farmhouse into a nice new place, which is kind of something that I'm looking forward to just for my family, right? I'm the dad of a 5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old daughter, and my lovely wife, Christine. And, we have a couple dogs and all that, much less dogs than before, but we have a couple still. And, you know, as far as business goes, I think 2022 for me and the business is going to be different just based on some changes happening in the real estate market. And I think 2022 for my organization, both of them, will be all about doubling down on recruiting, which I say every year probably. We're opening up some ancillary services, something that you've done as well. I'm not going to talk about that on the air yet. Property management, we're waiting for that. So, I think people talk about going wide or deep. And for me, I want to go wide and deep, managing ambition maybe, but, and also, really, I've been really fortunate to have a lot of speaking opportunities lately, about one a month, and I would like to continue that in 2022. Coaching has become a big part of my life, and I just really am getting a lot out of it. So continue to do that. And I mean, just like, I know that I'm going to do a good in my phone. So I have a health goal, which I'm
Yeah,
about to do.
can you repeat that? Because I didn't hear you said.
Yeah, so I
You're
mean,
going to
like
do
goals, like my goals for always, not just for next year. I have them saved in my phone, like on my home screen, right? So it's a health goal. which I'm super close to smashing. I have like a FICO score goal. Like I have a 720. I want a 780. I want a certain number of dollars in another savings account, which I got, but I want it again. And I have an agent count goal for both the organizations. But these don't have anything to do with any year. These are just goals, Like mark them off, right? Like my health goal has been the same goal for 2 years, and it took 2 years to get here, right? That FICO score is taking 4 years. Fix your credit, viewers. Pay your taxes if you're a real estate professional and you haven't. Just pay the damn things and fix your freaking credit yourself. It's super easy. Pay your taxes though.
That one. You got to take care of that one.
Yeah, you got to take care of that one. Pay your taxes, all your real estate pros. Really anybody, but the independent contractors have the hardest time. Pay your taxes, or you're never going to get anywhere. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling. So,
Yep.
No doubt. So it has been inspiring listening to you today. I love it. And fun, as usual. And if you were right here, we want to give you a big hug.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for everything.
Yes.
Your organization has grown so quickly, and it's due to, the people that your commitment and your commitment to the people in your organization. The people don't really understand what it's about. But it's about the continuous commitment to wanting to be the best and wanting to give the people that are in your community the best, right? That's what it comes down to. The community.
Cool. Yeah. Like I said, I still don't get it why people decide to come along for the ride, but I'm grateful for everyone that does. And
I get it. They love your personality. You have a fire and a spirit. And
cool.
So I am blessed and grateful for your time today, Suneet. It's been fun. And I look forward to seeing you, I don't know, soon, I guess.
Soon. There's some stuff cooking, I heard, so soon. I'm ready to hit that road again.
Yep. Definitely we'll be seeing, if not at the end of the year, early next year.
Yep. Cool.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great one.